Alright, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Jessie and today I'm doing the mid-year book freakout tag. I couldn't find the original creator, so I'm hoping that I have the questions correctly and everything. But if you know who originally created this tag, please let me know in the comments so that way I can give them credit in the description box. But yeah, I don't have a lot to say other than sorry I didn't post anything last week. A reading slump has hit me and it is still hitting me. While I was in the middle of a reading vlog, so that's why nothing's been uploaded yet. But eventually I'll have a reading vlog uploaded. Maybe next week, maybe we'll find something else, I don't know. But yeah, let's get started. The first question was, what's the best book you've read so far in 2020? And that book would be Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson. I love this book. So far it's a favorite of the year. I really love this book. Like the twist at the end was so good to me. Like I said before, when I've talked about this book in other videos, maybe the twist was obvious to you, but it hit me out of nowhere and I loved it. And Claudia, I loved her character and just how far she was willing to go to find her friend. And I love the way the story was told. I love I really enjoy right now the stories that are told present day and the past, like the two different times going on. But yes, I loved this book and I would highly recommend that you read it if you get a chance to. Next is the best sequel you've read in 2020, and for that I have picked Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi. This one is really good. So it's the second book in the Children of Blood and Bone trilogy, and I definitely like the first book better, but this one was still really good and I loved seeing how their story continues. And then there's a major cliffhanger at the end. It's a major cliffhanger. So I can't wait for the next book to come out. I can't remember when it comes out. I think it's next year. Maybe it's the end of this year. I don't remember. But I need to read the third book when it comes out. Next is a new release you haven't read yet, but you want to. And for that, I want to read Felix Ever After by Kason Calendar. I don't know a lot about the book. I know that it was really popular back in June and the beginning of this month, and I think it still is. But also, I know it's about a transgender person named Felix. And someone, I think they post pictures or spread pictures of Felix before their transition. And it's kind of like a revenge story, but there's more stuff that goes into it. That's just the key things I remember off the top of my head. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this book. It's on Scribd, I think. So I think I'm gonna try to listen to the audiobook sometime soon. So the next one is your most anticipated book for the second half of 2020. And I actually want to read Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson. I believe it's coming out on September 15th. And let me hold my glasses so I can kind of read you the little blurb, quick description thing about it. Alright, it says, when Enchanted Jones wakes up with blood on her hands and zero memory of the previous night, no one, the police and Corey's fans included, has more questions than she does. All she really knows is that this isn't how things were supposed to be. Corey was Enchanted's ticket to stardom. That's just the that's the first thing about it. That's the first paragraph, I think, of the summary. And just that really got my attention and makes me so excited to read it. Next is Biggest Disappointment. And for me, that's gonna be Suicide Notes from Beautiful Girls by Lynn Weingarten. I wanted this book to be on the same level as Monday's Not Coming, The Female of the Species, and Sadie. I wanted it to be on that level. So I know Monday's Not Coming isn't that similar to Sadie and The Female of the Species, but I kind of group them together because I get the same vibe from them, just of a high school aged girl, or high school aged girl trying to find, or either trying to get revenge or trying to find someone. And it's just, I was expecting it to be better, and then the twist in the middle, that was a good twist, but it was kind of not that fun to read, and I didn't love it. It was a solid 3 stars. I haven't had anything below 3 stars yet this year. So my level of disappointment isn't that bad. I didn't dislike this book. It's just, I wanted it to be more like Monday's Not Coming, and then a little bit like The Female of the Species, or a little bit like Sadie. I wanted that element in there, and it didn't hit right. Instead, I was reminded a lot of Winter Girls with the friendship, the relationship between Delia and June. their relationship just reminded me of Cassie and Leah's relationship in Winter Girls. And yeah, Delia is a kind of toxic friend, and I don't know, June just was kind of boring. But yeah, didn't hate it, just was disappointing because it's not what I wanted it to be. The book that was the biggest surprise for me was Wilder Girls by Rory Power. I listened to the audiobook of this book back in February, and I loved it. It was so good. The reason it was a surprise is because like there seemed to be, I don't know if maybe people who read actual horror books wouldn't say that it had like horror in it, but like the way that described like the mutations and stuff that happened to some of the girls in the book due to the sickness or whatever, kind of like is stuff that I don't normally like, but that was such a good book. That was definitely one of my, definitely like another one that's like top of the year. That one was really surprising though, just because I don't normally like anything that's, because that one's almost like a little sci-fi-y, like a little sci-fi-ish, but also like with the way that people just kind of had stuff growing, like with, I can't remember her name anymore, but the main character, like with her eye kind of being grown closed or something. But yeah, so just that was a really good book and I really enjoyed it. And it was surprising. It surprised me a little bit that I liked it. Okay, so next is favorite new author, and it's either debut or new to you. And I would have to say it's probably Tiffany D. Jackson. So every book I read this year, I've either already read the author or like it was a good book, but I don't know that necessarily I would continue reading more to that author. But Monday's Not Coming was so good to me. Like I love that book that I want to go back and read Allegedly, and then when Grown comes out I want to read it. And I know that I need to like see if there's anything else by her that I want to read, but I think she might be my favorite author like this year, like the favorite new to me kind of thing. Next is Newest Fictional Crush. And this one was really hard for me because I don't really get fictional crushes. Like, I'm just so picky. I haven't really had a fictional crush since 6th grade whenever I read Twilight. And I was Team Edward because I'm kind of basic. But yeah, so I had to really think about fictional crush, and just, this was one that was really hard for me to pick. So I'm picking, like, I guess a non-human character that, like, can kind of become human. So, in A Song Below Water by Tiffany C. Morrow, there's this character called, that I think Tavia calls him Gargi, but like his name's, he has a human name too, because like he kind of has other forms. I can't remember his human name, but this is the gargoyle. He just seemed the most interesting, like as far as like male characters go that I've read this year. I can't remember a lot of them though. If they're not the main character, they kind of like pass me by, but like I don't get fictional crushes very much, but Gargoyle seemed cool. I like that, you know, he was like tasked with taking care of Effie, but he still took the time to take care of Tavia and like helped her too. So I mean, that was cool. I appreciated that. But yeah, if I have a fictional crush, that's as close as it's gonna get. Next is newest favorite character, and for that I will be picking two characters from A Song Below Water by Bethany C. Morrow. And I think Tavia and Duffy were both my like favorites. They were just such good main characters. They were so, I don't know, I love their relationship and their friendship, and like just the way they like cared for each other, and like went through their own problems without being mad at the other person for not being like for being in their own problems instead. Like I love their friendship and everything. Just Tavia and Effie, I think they'd be decent role models as far as like looking at friendships. Maybe unrealistic because it's like too good, but it was really good. I loved them. I like the way that they like were considerate of each other, but like still did their own things. If that's a good way to explain it, I don't know. Just Tavia and Effie, they're my favorites. Next is a book that made you cry, and so far this year I've only read one book that made me cry. I reread The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, and it's the only thing that's made me cry. I still cried when Gus died. Even though this is like the third or fourth time I've read it, I still just like, I was actually outside tanning, like kind of laying in the sun tanning, and Chris was playing with Rowan, and I'm just over here reading my book, and I just got tears going down my face. And it wasn't even like Gus's death that made me cry. It was like his freaking funeral, like his little funeral that he has for himself because he wants to be there. That part gets me every time, and like I know this is another thing that's kind of basic in that like some people say John Green's writing and characters are kind of pretentious. It might be, but this is still probably it's probably my favorite now, more for nostalgia reasons. Like I don't think if I read it for the first time ever at my age now I would like consider it like an all-time favorite, but also because I've read it so many times and it's just one that I loved the first time I ever read it in high school. It's still kind of like an all-time lifetime favorite. And I still cried when Gus had his funeral, and then I think I teared up a little bit when he died, but I cried like I just had like tears steadily streaming down my face at his little eulogy and like private funeral. Next is a book that made you happy, and I am picking Beach Read by Emily Henry. I was so happy reading this book. It was so sweet and cute and I loved it, and like it was just so good. I got a little scared at one point, but other than that, it was just such an awesome book. I loved reading this. I read it in about like a day or two. I read this one really fast, and I think I read this as part of my first or second ever reading vlog, but this one was awesome. I loved it. If you want a cute little like lighthearted romance, this is a really cute one to read. I really enjoyed it. Next is the most beautiful book you've bought or received this year, and for that I'm picking Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. Her books, so all the art and all of her books are beautiful, like on the dust jackets, and I'm sure and the paperbacks are beautiful too. I finally bought the Poet X as a hardcover, just so that way I'd have like 3 of her books I loved. But with the Bar on High, the cover was beautiful, the hardcover was beautiful, but I bought it last year. But like look at how it's like, obviously this cover is really beautiful. I love that it shows the 2 sisters on the front, and it has like a little bit of background of like showing where they live, and then the planes dividing it. That's really pretty. But also just I love the extra detail in her books, Elizabeth Acevedo's books, where like there's like the actual hardcover has art on it, and it's kind of shiny, so like, and we're right in front of my window, but like I love like this is really pretty. It matches the actual spine on the dust jacket, and then this is so pretty too. So yeah, just Elizabeth Acevedo has just beautiful books. Like the writing's amazing, and then the actual hardcover is beautiful, and then the dust jackets are beautiful. And I don't have any I've seen the cover for the paperback, and it's really pretty too. Next is what books do you need to read by the end of the year, and for that I would be picking any books in like the Grishaverse by Leigh Bardugo. So like the Shadow and Bone trilogy, the Six of Crows duology, and I need to read this King of Scars book too, I think. But I want to finish all these books, or at least the 2 like series that I own already, because I really want to read these books before the Netflix series comes out. And I can't remember if the Netflix series is coming out at the end of this year or the beginning of next year. But which I also know that I probably won't actually watch the series, but I really want to. But also TV stresses me out. But I want to get those finished before the series comes out. That way I can like actually watch it with a little bit of knowledge. Alright, next is your favorite video or post you've made so far this year. And I think that'd be my video that I posted a couple weeks ago. That was a book review for a song, Below Water. That I loved the idea of that video because it made me like just really kind of slightly critically read. Like I was still reading for fun because I prefer to read for fun, but like also I was still like putting like a little more thought into like what Bethany C. Morrow did to like tell the story, and also like I was really paying more attention, I think, to like social ideas or stuff that are currently going on that were heavily portrayed, more so than the actual writing style. But still, I really enjoyed like the process of filming that video. I kind of liked taking notes in the book. I liked the process of like, you know, keeping tabs and keeping them organized, and like making little notes throughout the book to just kind of, I don't know, I think this will be fun to reread one day, and like also kind of see what I thought at the first time I read it. Alright, lastly is favorite bookish community members. And on BookTube, my current favorites are Reading with Nori, Chandler Ainsley, and Books and Lala. Those are like the ones that and also Fictional Fates. Those people are like the people I tend to like as soon as I notice their videos in my subscription box. I tend to watch those the soonest, and like anyone else I watch as they pop up like on my recommended pages and stuff. but those 4 people are the people I tend to watch the most. And then on Bookstagram, the accounts I interact with the most are the Willowwood and the Tall Tale Reader and Bookish for Life. And I'll have everyone's accounts linked below. The everyone I mentioned, like, their posts tend to be ones that like they're either people I interact with the most, like on Bookstagram, and like that I tend to like a lot of. And then like on BookTube, just people that I tend to like go to first to watch their videos. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna have all the accounts posts linked that I just spoke about, and then I also have like the list of questions I used in the description box. But yeah, thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your answers are, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.